This is In Pursuit of the Truth. Today, I'll be talking about how a fun weekend can take a dark turn. Lauren Agee had made plans with her best friend to attend Wakefest in the summer of 2015. Despite encountering some unpleasant surprises on the day of the festival, she thought they'd have an enjoyable weekend. What could possibly happen to her while she was with her friends on a high rocky hill surrounded by the lake? If you're ready to uncover the truth, shall we begin? Lauren Agee, who lived in Tennessee, had planned to attend Wakefest with her best friend Hannah. This event, spanning the entire weekend, not only had been hosting wakeboarding athletes for years, but also offered a unique opportunity for young people interested in water sports and looking to have fun. But it was precisely for this reason that Lauren's mother, Sherry, was apprehensive about sending her daughter to this event. She had heard about the festival's reputation and knew that alcohol consumption would be at its peak. Moreover, she didn't trust Lauren's friend Hannah very much, so she expressed many times that she wasn't keen on the idea. But Lauren was going to attend this festival whether her mother approved or not. When they arrived at the festival grounds, two more men joined them, Hannah's boyfriend Aaron and his friend Chris. Hannah had never mentioned this plan to Lauren. Although Lauren felt a bit uneasy, she didn't say anything and decided to go along with the group. However, things were starting to get even stranger.
Are we ready for our accommodation?
Aren't we going to stay in one of the cabins by the lake?
Lauren seems a bit tense. There's nothing to be afraid of. See that hill over there? We're going to a tent on that hill.
As it turned out, they were going to stay not in a cabin, but at a campsite set up on a hilltop that could only be accessed by canoe, and it was a cliff. Although Lauren was surprised by the change of plans, she still adapted to the group. Upon reaching the precipice, it was necessary to climb 27 meters while holding onto a thin white rope, but at the top, there was only a single tent. Besides that, a hammock was also set up between two trees. Hannah and Aaron wanted to stay together in the tent, which meant Lauren had to sleep with Chris in the hammock. Their camping spot was dangerously close to the edge of the cliff, and they had to choose one of two ways to get down: using the right rope, as they did while climbing, or jumping from the rocks into the lake. The area was, indeed, hazardous. But for a group of young people caught up in the magic of the moment and feeling invincible, it was just an insignificant detail. They spent the first evening settling into the campsite and enjoying themselves among friends. The team woke up happy in the morning, and diving into the water from the hills surrounding the lake was one of the festival's favorite activities. Naturally adventurous, Aaron and Chris didn't want to miss out on this. Hannah had easily adapted to them, not even caring about the occasional sharp rocks at the bottom of the lake. However, Lauren hit her head when she jumped into the lake fearfully and lost consciousness for a while. Lauren, who was thought to have suffered a minor concussion, fortunately managed to regain consciousness later. The quartet continued to enjoy themselves as the hours passed. Lauren had forgotten about her headache. As night fell, everyone flocked to the Marina Bar, the only venue in the festival area. Here, Lauren and Hannah ran into Kathy, who went to the same high school as them. Hannah didn't particularly like Kathy, so she left. This was because Kathy was Aaron's ex-girlfriend.
Kathy, would it be all right if I stayed in your cabin tonight? I don't think I can make it up the hill.
I'm sorry, Lauren, but there's no room in our cabin.
Chris Yarcock, who normally serves in Nashville, was working at the festival grounds that weekend. The police officer, primarily responsible for narcotics control, had checked IDs at the bar and then chatted a bit with Lauren and her friends. After a while, as the clock struck 2 in the morning, the group left the bar and made their way towards the pier. They were going to take a canoe and climb up the hill. Yarchuk watched these young people, who were barely able to walk, from a distance for a while. In the days to come, this moment would replay countless times in the police officer's mind. It was the last day of the festival, and in the afternoon people had slowly started to pack up, but the races and entertainment were still ongoing. The report that came through Chris Yarchuk's radio at 5 p.m., however, would shatter all this tranquility. The police officer, arriving at the scene, saw a woman's body that had been pulled out of the water on the shore. 2 local fishermen had found her when they went out fishing in their boat in the morning. Despite the fractures on her face, Yarchuk recognized the young woman lying on the ground, as only hours had passed since their conversation at the bar. Just then, Yarchuk noticed something. There was a bruised mark on the woman's body.
Lauren! Where are you, Lauren?
At that moment, Aaron and Chris suddenly appeared in their canoes, and when they saw Yarchuk on the shore searching for Lauren, they said they couldn't get news from their friends and were worried. From where they were, they couldn't see the lifeless body a little behind the police. Yarchuk told them to approach slowly so he could inform them about their friend's death. However, these young people, who had appeared quite anxious and concerned just minutes ago, displayed an odd, almost cold demeanor after identifying Lauren's body. Yarchuk had sensed the strange energy in the children. However, the interrogation process was not within the scope of his duties. Aaron and Chris were taken away in another police car to be brought to the station for questioning. Although they tried to prevent chaos, news of a death at the festival had spread quickly. Lauren's mother was devastated. Sherry, in shock and pain, first asked, "Where's Hannah?" Indeed, Hannah wasn't with the group. She was at the festival grounds. What was strange was that even though Lauren hadn't been seen for hours, her friends had continued to enjoy herself at the party all day long. Aaron and Chris only appeared at the moment when the police found Lauren. Was this a coincidence, or was there reason for coming to the bay at that exact time to check if something they had left there was still present? None of them had filed a missing person report until the police found Lauren's body. The stories of the 3 young people who were interrogated showed discrepancies. The only thing the group agreed on was that Lauren hadn't been with them in the morning. However, all her belongings, including her cell phone, wallet, and even her slippers, were at the bottom of the hammock. Considering that the terrain was quite rough and rocky, it seemed highly unlikely that Lauren would have left them barefoot. Despite all the peculiarities that occurred, Lauren Agee's death was officially recorded as an unfortunate accident, and the case was closed. The autopsy results showed that the young woman's blood alcohol level was twice the legal limit. According to authorities, Lauren had lost her bodily coordination due to the effects of alcohol and had fallen off the cliff into the lake. The wounds on her body were the result of this fall. However, there was one person who saw all of this as nonsense. Police officer Yarchuk. He clearly remembered the mark he saw on Lauren's body, just below her chest. It was a 45-degree triangular mark. This resembled the tip of the cannon that Aaron and Chris were using at that very moment. Feeling a sense of responsibility towards the vibrant young woman he had met and her family, the police officer wasted no time in calling Lauren's mother, sharing with her what he had seen and his suspicions. Sherry had never believed for a moment that her daughter's death was an accident. She didn't trust the authorities either, so she decided to hire someone herself. Sheila Lysicki was a private detective known for solving cold cases. After examining the autopsy report and photographs, Sheila concluded that this death was not accidental. She pointed out the bite mark on Lauren's chest and signs of manual strangulation. First, there had been bleeding in the young woman's throat. Additionally, no water was detected in either Lauren's lungs or stomach. In light of these findings, Sheila thought the body had been strategically placed in the lake after the murder to make it appear like an accident. Detective Sheila, gathering other evidence, clearly stated that she was certain something else had happened that night. The distraught mother filed a lawsuit against Aaron, Chris, and Hannah, accusing them of causing her daughter's death and covering it up. However, all the defendants exercised their right to remain silent, and the case was dismissed due to insufficient evidence. In reality, it wasn't a lack of evidence, but rather inadequate evidence gathering. Many people believe this was deliberately done to avoid tarnishing the reputation of Wakefest, which brings significant revenue to the local economy. The secrets of that night are hidden with Aaron, Chris, Hannah, the trees on the hill, and Center Hill Lake. We hope that all these truths will come to light one day, and we wish for justice for Lauren Agee.